I would like to bring on the gentleman who actually was connected to one of the gentlemen who's connected right straight to corporate, who sought out this device because he saw what the potential was in it, and he's actually been able to experience it for several months now. And so he actually shared with Dr. Jim Hayes, and here we are. Just it trickled right down through, like sharing your favorite movie or your favorite restaurant, and so everybody's excited about sharing the Healy. But it started with this gentleman I'm getting ready to introduce you to. You heard from him earlier, asking you to turn off your mics and your video cameras. But Dr. Steve Small, we know that you are the expert in the field of frequency therapy. We're hesitant to say medicine, but we know that you can say that. So we want to turn the call over to you and just let you share with us kind of why this intrigued you and how you see this being applicable to people all across the world, and especially to our USA market right here, and bringing this into the homes of Americans. Over to you, Dr. Steve.
Well, thank you, Sheila. Thanks for inviting me on tonight. You know, this is really great because this is the first doctor's call we've had since the USA launched last week. And, you know, it's been 5 months for me of preparing for this moment in time. So you can imagine how thrilled and excited I am that it has actually arrived. I mean, I've spoken to many of you, many of friends and patients are on the call tonight, fellow practitioners. I've put in probably 18-hour days for the last 3 or 4 months with Healy, helping behind the scenes, helping get people the information they need, making sure the systems work for this to launch. I'm really grateful that people have been very patient. Anytime you open up a country like the US with something very, very new, there's always bound to have things happen. So the company apologized for any little glitches that you may or may not be experiencing in places like your back office or in ordering or things of that nature. I can tell you that I'm on with them almost on a daily basis, getting updated and letting them know what is going on here. So they are keeping very currently aware, and they're working to make everything as great as possible, because we have an amazing device, and so we want all our systems to be as amazing as our devices, but just give them a little bit of time to catch up. And I know that within the next couple of weeks, everything will be handled in terms of everything in the back office, the ordering, etc. It is addressed. And like I said, I am in contact with them. And I just wanted to put that out at the beginning because, of course, we've all had these little blips that show up. But any new company, especially, you know, in 2 days of releasing this device, they sold $2 million worth of devices. Now, you know, if anyone that's been in network marketing in the past knows, that's amazing. This is setting all sorts of records. This is breaking all sorts of records. The first 2 days, we sold more than 5,000 devices. It's so exciting to see this because, you know, I've been in the field of quantum energetic medicine for over 20 years. And prior to that, in the field of functional, nutritional, anti-aging medicine. And so the past 20 years have been just amazing for me because in making that switch, I have been able to take a look at the body from a whole different perspective than I used to. And having the ability to see the entire body simultaneously and being able to do a scan on a patient that lets me know exactly what the underlying cause of their issues are, and then being able to treat them almost immediately using frequency therapy, it's just been remarkable in terms of the types of things, you know, and I see everyone from elite athletes in my office to 4-stage cancer patients and everybody in between. And it doesn't matter where you are or what you have or what your disease name is called. That's not what's important. The important part of this is to figure out what the underlying cause is and then to reverse that. And the ability to use frequencies to do this is just a very easy but remarkable approach. And I can tell you that this device itself has exceeded every one of my expectations. And I have a really high bar because having been in the field for over 20 years, I pretty much experienced almost every frequency device that's been out there on the market, both in professional and lay people's side. And I can tell you that there is nothing out there that compares. Really is beyond anything that I have ever seen. It's almost like a dream of mine came true because for the last 10 years, I've always hoped and dreamed that someday a device along that I would be able to give a patient after they left the office to tell them to continue the treatment that I was doing with them, so that by the time they came back to me on the next visit, they already were progressing in terms of their treatment. And that device, my dream, showed up in November, kind of very interestingly, just literally showed up in my life. And so the first thing I did was to, you know, kick the tires, so to speak, and to make sure it lived up to what they told me it could do. And I did. I mean, I had a condition, I won't get into it in detail because we have a lot of other docs that want to speak to. Let's put it this way. I was in a really bad car accident back in the early 90s, with left me with some chronic issues from that to the point where in the last couple of years I haven't been able to drive. And I tried everything, and even the work that I do, I've got some improvement to some extent, but it always left me with some residual issues. And the day I got the Healy, I started using it on myself, and I looked at the programs that were available, and I chose the ones that I felt would be the most applicable to my condition. And I used it on the first night, ran a couple of programs while I was watching TV in the comfort of my home. Second night, third night, and on the fourth day, a miracle occurred, and that the issue that I had for all of these years seemed to, when I woke up in the morning, disappeared. And it continued for the next couple of days. And then I put it to the ultimate test on the fourth day, which was to actually see if I could drive my car again. And so I went out with a buddy and had him sit in the passenger seat, started my car, pulled out, and to this day, I can tell you that I can drive 2 hours more by myself alone on a freeway, which I would never even be able to drive up the street just a couple of months ago. So as I said, it is, like Dr. Quigley said, it's almost like a miracle in a way. It's almost hard to believe. And then, of course, after that experience, I started using it on patients in my practice, friends with all sorts of different conditions, just again to check it out, to make sure that it can do what it can, what they say it can do. And what they say in Germany basically is this: it treats every condition, every situation. You just need to find the right programs and run the frequencies and let the frequencies do the work. and they release a lot of the blockages in our body. They, you know, I teach all over the world, and I teach a couple of different seminars. One of my favorite seminars that I like to teach is the fact that that inflammation is the underlying cause of all chronic disease. And so what this device is able to do is to work and release the inflammation that's stuck in any of the cells in the body. And once you start removing that inflammation, it's amazing how quickly the body does respond. And what we're doing here is we're working with something called frequency-specific microcurrent. And so the microcurrent part of this delivers into the cells of the body a certain millivoltage that allows us to maintain the optimum level in our cells. Our cells have certain levels. I mean, I like to explain this to my patients and lay people. Envision yourself like a flashlight. And as we have flashlights, we know that as the batteries start to get used up over time, that light starts getting dimmer and dimmer until the light goes out and you have to then get new batteries. Well, the same thing occurs in the body. As the cell voltage starts to decrease over time because of inflammation, because of stress, because of other situations, that cell voltage begins to drop. And as it drops to certain levels, certain things will start to occur in our body. We start to get into inflammatory conditions and chronic diseases. And then when that cell voltage drops even further, say 20 millivolts, we start getting into things like tumors and cancers. And when it drops to 0, well, your light is out at that point in time. So what this allows us to do is to maintain that optimum cell voltage, that negative 70 millivolt cell membrane potential on a daily basis, thereby recharging all the cells in our body, keeping them in a really great state of health. And then the frequency part comes in, and what the frequencies do is they direct where that energy goes to. They direct specifically what area of the body, which cells, which organs, which systems that the energy is delivered to. So we have a two-pronged approach, and the combination of those two areas are really what does the balancing, the healing, the reversal of our conditions. And it's very scientific. I mean, if you look into the scientific literature and you look up in things like PubMed and some of the other areas there, you will see that this has been studied for years. This is not science fiction, it's science. We have a lot of articles in different journals that back up what our device does. And of course, you know, the fact that we are an FDA cleared device, to me, is sort of the cherry on top, because once you have a device that's FDA cleared and has to go through that rigorous process of being cleared, you can be assured that it met the test of the FDA in order to get approved. Very, very few devices just in general in the field of frequency medicine and energy medicine actually do get cleared, and almost no devices that I am aware of specifically that go through a network marketing arena have or are FDA cleared. So we're right away ahead of the game.
Well, tonight's my first night learning about it, but I have been a homeopathic practitioner for over 35 years. So I've been using energy medicine and yoga and lifestyle medicine for probably 45 years. It's the way I work with my clientele, and it sounds really nice. I mean, it would be lovely to have something that a client can actually take home and own ourselves. I mean, I work on that through diet, lifestyle, through the epigenetics of everything. And yes, getting to the root cause of an issue certainly is great. And energy medicine is awesome. I mean, sometimes I'll just write the name of a homeopathic remedy on a piece of paper, and my client can feel better just in that particular, just the energetics of the word, of the name. So I'm interested to learn more about this particular product, the cost and how we get it, and all the rest. I would love to learn a lot more about it. Sounds wonderful.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And we do have another presentation coming up tomorrow night, and the person who invited you here can send over a full recorded presentation as well with all that information. And we're just so glad we're attracting professionals like you that already has a heart for healing. And I know several of my friends that I have some guests on tonight are actually team members that are into homeopathic type of healing therapies, and I'm just so excited. And I went to them very first because I knew they would catch the vision of the Healy product and the opportunity. Thank you so much, Amy.
Can I ask you one question?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this machine or this item has come onto the market since just a couple of days ago?
Okay.
Released in the United States on May 1st, but it's been used all through the world in Europe and Asia and other countries for the last year. But you need to realize that this device is not a new device, because it's based on the original device, which is a doctors-only professional device called the Time Waver, that has been in Germany for the past 14 years, used by more than 2,500 German MDs and practitioners with over 500,000 patients. So it's been tested and proven over time. And what basically they did, which was the dream I had, because I have a device similar to the Time Waver, they were able, after the last 4.5 to 5 years, I think it cost them $20 million of research, but they were able to shrink the components down into a product that's the size of the palm of your hand. And then with the benefit of using the cloud that we have now, to be able to store all the 144,000 unique frequencies in a German secure medical cloud, and then with the attachment of the quantum sensor, which can fit in the palm of your hand, to your cell phone, which now has the apps that you need. There's a triangle effect that's made. With the artificial intelligence, we're able to scan ourselves first, the information goes into the cloud, instantaneously comes down, tells us which programs, and then we can deliver it right from our phone. So it's remarkable. You can't hear.
Where's the place now? Now that there's the COVID thing and the coronavirus, what's happening with any sort of kind of experiments and people and clientele and patients using this machine with this particular challenge today?
Well, that's an interesting question. And the reason why it's an interesting question is because the medical team that puts together all the programs and the frequencies that are used got together about a month ago when this whole situation started coming down the path, and they said, we need to do something about this. We need to protect all of our people that have this device. And so they got together, figured out the specific frequencies that were needed, came up with a whole different program, which is, as people get it in the next couple of days, it's the one that's called the Bioenergetic Balance Program. It's a unique, specific, standalone program. And they delivered it to everyone's Healy for free. So when they turned on the Healy the next day, all of a sudden it said, program update. This program came up, and they suggested that everyone that uses the Healy runs this program at least once a day.
that have COVID.
I'm not going to address any specific medical conditions by name because we're not allowed to do that.
Okay, so what about
Advice.
Basically,
But I'll
it
tell you that-
optimizes the immunity for any condition, and we cannot say COVID-19. That makes total sense to everyone, I'm sure.
right?
That addresses hopefully your question. They're on it, and they have tons and tons of new programs that they shared with me privately a couple of days ago that are coming down the pike real quickly. Just to let people know, they're going to have a whole animals, dogs, cats, horses. They're going to have a program for learning a language in 6 weeks. They're going to have a program for anti-aging, which includes the frequencies for the stem cells of all the organs in the body. They're coming out with a program that has every single emotion and how it relates to every organ and the underlying cause of all disease. So all of these programs are coming up, specific programs for children, and they'll be showing up every couple of months, and you'll have the opportunity, if you want to include those programs into your database. We all have the same device, regardless of which edition we purchase. It's just the number of programs we choose to get, and we can include in it that allows us to treat other aspects. So hopefully that,
Okay, thank you.
you're very welcome.
Thank you, Amy.
What type of doctor are you, Doc Steve?
I have a DMD, NMD, OMD, and ND. So my degrees are in nutritional medicine, orthomolecular medicine, naturopathic, and I actually started out at the University of Pennsylvania in the 70s in the field of dental medicine. You know, I'm the type of guy that I just am always, studying and taking courses and teaching and whatever. And I just, over the years, I felt that those programs, that postdoc degrees that I accumulated were all important for where I was heading towards and the things that I was doing. So I continue to learn all the time. So I'm up to date with exactly all the technology, i.e. the Healy.
We know that Healy's got you intrigued, so head on over to ChooseHealy.com to see tons of Healy testimonials, hear reviews on the Healy technology, and how to easily get your hands on this game-changing and disrupting opportunity to support you, your family, your community, your clients, and your patients. We look forward to you scheduling a time to experience the Healy Resonance device from wherever you are. So head on over to ChooseHealy.com to receive all the information you require and to schedule your Healy Resonance experience today. You'll be glad you did. Get ready for the new paradigm of affordable energy medicine. It's here today and waiting for you. ChooseHealy.com.